Okay, so at this point, we're gonna move on to stippling. And you guys, I am recording this for the next class, so you guys are gonna have to communicate with sign language. Good luck. Okay. We're going to use this thin Sharpie marker. Now, for the practice, we use the big Sharpie. We're not gonna do that. Those look hokey and chubby and not great. Okay? So we are going to use, I did recommend that you leave your smallest hand for stippling, okay? If this was my hand, I would need to clean this up and do a tight line first. I'm not gonna do this one for time's sake. I'm going to go ahead and stipple this finger here for us. It's exactly the same as the other two hands. It's just that, let's get this little, when we're doing dots, this, if everybody, why don't you go ahead and look at your Sharpie tip. Let me see if I can get this to focus on me. Alright, your Sharpie tip is flat at the bottom. Do you guys see that? That tip has, that flatness has a corner all the way around it. If you look at it dead on, which the camera can't see, it's going to be a flat circle shape. Okay? So if you hit it on the corner, you're not going to get a good circle. Okay? So what you want to do is you really want to have your pen tip straight up so that you can get the best. I even like to tap down my paper because it does kind of float a little bit. See how it moves? And that little movement of the paper, everybody looking up here, that little movement of the paper will make it so that your dots look more like dashes. So I'm really kind of anchoring the paper and my movement is straight up and down. Okay? Now the cool thing about stippling is that it's really easy because it's so time consuming. You can just really kind of enjoy, and I'm noticing here that my darkest shadow is on the right side of this edge, so I am going to switch to the right side and make that much darker. I really like to kind of get the darkness in first and then kind of fade it out. Now one of the things that looks bad or hokey when stippling is if every dot is perfectly in line. Like say you did the shadow here, like that's your dark shadow, and then you just put in perfect lines that are evenly spaced. See how it starts to create a pattern that looks kind of almost like a line? Can you guys see that? It's not a good value. So you really want to be kind of random and sporadic. I like to kind of pop around a little bit, and you're just going to start really disguising those lines by doing more dots by the lines and then gradating or spreading out the dots so that it looks like a value change. Okay? How many of you kind of understand the theory behind it, how this works? It's close, more dots overlapping. You should never color anything in. You should dot it. It does take a while, but it will look more organic and harmonious if you have dots everywhere, even the really dark areas. So I'm being really careful to get really close to my edge, and then as I go out, I'm looking here, and I have kind of like this ridge right here. Do you guys see that ridge? Kind of moves a little bit in a roundness, kind of like how we talked about earlier. I can kind of get that here and know that that's kind of where my darker, but I want to make it look sporadic. I want to make it look, you know, not perfect, and I want this shadow to really gradate down to the darkest dark. Do you guys kind of understand what's up? All right, let's go ahead and give that a try. If you haven't finished with your cross hatching, go ahead and move on while it's fresh in your mind to the stippling. You're doing your third hand, okay? Do not do this, don't do like I did. I just, for the demo, did 2 different shading techniques on one hand, but you should have a hand for each. Just know, practice straight up and down. Make sure you get, and you can use your little paper to practice the rhythm and the movement to get a clean, try to get a bad dot. Not on your paper, but try to like see, if you go at it at an angle, you're gonna get these dashes, okay? If you're like really quick and you're not going the right direction, it looks messy. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys do it.